Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Pro Wrestling Report Prime Time, episode number 817. Damian Nelson
the 817
alongside David Hero. Yes, from Dallas, Texas. That's the area code. 817.
We love Dallas.
Do you? What do you love about Dallas?
There's so many beautiful things in Dallas.
The beautiful people. The beautiful people.
Yes. You love Dallas.
Well, thank you for joining us here, folks. And as we talk about Dallas, obviously we'd be remiss if we did not send our well wishes and speedy recovery to all of those down in Texas dealing with what is now the largest rainfall event in United States history.
It's the most expensive hurricane in United States history.
Absolutely. It was double landfall from Hurricane Harvey, and obviously we are having all of you in our thoughts as we do this episode here today. But let's get to this week's wrestling news, and let's kick it off with this week's WWE Raw report. And dang, David Hero.
There's only one story of the week.
Dang, David Hero. There's 3 bullet points.
No, but there's one true story.
Do you want me to go ahead and pitch it, or do you want to go ahead and take that too?
No, go ahead.
It was the title change. Alexa Bliss, once again, the women's champion, defeating Sasha Banks.
You know,
in her first title defense.
Alexa Bliss is like a frickin' prophet.
How do you spell that?
She's really Profit, but she's also the Phet, because she's making money and she's calling her own shots.
Folks, we'll get to that story in a minute, obviously, but the big news, of course, as you talked about, David Hero, was the big confrontation, the contract signing between Roman Reigns and John Cena. And let's just say this, beep got real in their exchange this past Monday night. We're on television, we can't say it.
That's right.
And John Cena really giving it to Roman Reigns, but to his credit, Roman Reigns doing the same. John Cena going as far to say such things as, if Roman Reigns, were better, then John Cena, would not still need to be in WWE, even on a part-time basis. Talking about all the things, a lot of the things that a lot of people have criticized Roman Reigns for over the years.
It's everything that everyone has been said about both guys. Both guys use that as their fodder to cut their ridiculous promo.
What do you mean by ridiculous?
Because it was so good. I mean, that fourth wall came down.
Did you watch it twice?
I did.
That's how nice it was.
It was that great. And you know, say what you want about Roman Reigns, he delivered.
I'll say he's endorsed.
He delivered. And so did John Cena. John Cena had an edge to him that he hasn't had in a while.
Last we saw that was probably in his interaction with The Rock.
Yeah.
And
maybe he doesn't like Samoans.
John Cena, I think he tripped up Roman Reigns a few times, though. Roman Reigns, while great this past Monday night, was seemingly taken aback a little bit by some of the comments of John Cena. And I wouldn't say people have gone through the argument of whether it was a shoot or a work, real or fake. Doesn't matter, because we as fans believed it.
The reaction from the crowd, work or shoot, real or fake, whatever you want to call it, the reaction they got from the crowd is all that matters.
So, do you think that John Cena believed some of the things he said to Roman Reigns this past Monday night?
There's no doubt. There's no doubt vice versa. Truly.
So when that happens, David Hero, as a booker in professional wrestling, when that happens, how do you frame the conversation so that the very sensitive feelings that sometimes occur in professional wrestling don't get hurt?
Say, hey, this is business. It's not personal. We're going to go out there. We are going to talk this match up to the point where people are going to believe we legitimately hate each other, and they will pay more money to see that.
But isn't it personal when it's real?
Well, look at McGregor and Mayweather.
Ah, yes, the fight.
It's the same kind of gimmick.
You know, they worked everybody, and they worked everybody into a frenzy. People were going as far as to call Conor a racist for some of the things he was doing, calling Floyd boy and tapping him on the head, things of that nature. They worked. You know, that fight, the hype for that fight was almost so great that I, who have never ordered or seen a boxing match in my entire life, almost ordered the fight. Now, I ended up watching it for free, but I almost ordered the fight. That's how good it was. They talked me into the building.
That whole fight was a work.
Yes, it was.
Everything about it. Do you want to know why?
Why?
You have two world-class fighters. Did they bounce on their feet? They were flat-footed the entire time. You didn't see anybody wind up and use their waist when they threw a punch. It was just jabs, jabs, jabs. And the best fighter in the world goes 10 rounds with a guy in his first professional fight? Come on.
Well, but
the referee calls it, so no one really gets knocked out. Controversy. Could he have kept going?
We'll leave this at that. We'll leave that at this. At the end, when they embraced, the looks on both their faces, what I interpreted was, dude, we just made a lot of beeping money.
No, they were saying, we're going to Sizzler. That's what they were thinking.
Well, Floyd Strip Club is not called Sizzler.
Well, but they have steak there.
Back to John Cena and Roman Reigns. Yes, indeed, it was real. It was personal. But let's go back to some of the times where it's also been real and personal. And let's look at the Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart situation of a long time back, David Hero. True, legit hate and heat there.
Yeah, but
and
you can't compare the two.
Can't compare the two. But what I'm asking, though, is how do you manage that process when two men...
They don't hate each other like that.
How do you know that?
Because Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart had pull-aparts in the backstage where hair was ripped off each other's head. Mm-hmm. Okay? Legit shoot heat.
Okay.
John Cena and Roman Reigns, they need each other.
So when CM Punk dropped the mic, is there any similarity there?
That was scripted.
Nah.
Yeah. Brother, let me tell you something right now.
It's different. So there are promos where every word is scripted. There are promos where you go out and you hit a few key points. He hit a few key points.
If he did not get the okay,
right,
his mic would have been cut.
And it's not questioning that. It's simply saying when you add the realism to the words that are coming out of their mouths,
there was a lot of realism added or put into Reigns and Cena. But it's all been stuff that's been said before by everybody else, just not two guys in the middle of the ring.
And saying it on WWE television, which was key. Mm-hmm. Roman's armor is not cracking. I think it's getting stronger. But if you look at Roman Reigns over the last year, and John Cena made this point on Monday as well, how he hasn't held the WWE Championship in as long, and how he was in the opening match at SummerSlam and blah, 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 blah. Roman Reigns has been playing a similar role to John Cena, because without Roman Reigns, there'd be no Braun Strowman right now.
Oh, agreed, because Strowman needed Reigns.
But that credit is not given.
Of course not. I mean, look at the good matches that Reigns had with AJ Styles.
Yeah.
They were solid. They were good. He had good matches with Kevin Owens. You know, every guy he's had a program with, it's been solid.
This is leading to, obviously it was a contract signing, this is leading to a matchup that the two will have at No Mercy, the next WWE Raw branded pay-per-view. Of course, that pay-per-view is headlined by Braun Strowman versus Brock Lesnar for the Universal Championship in the main event. Now, saying those two matches may not make you think it's a random September pay-per-view on the WWE Network. You might think it's a SummerSlam or a WrestleMania. Is this a miss, David Hero? Should they be giving these two big money matches away? Not away, but at this off pay-per-view, I guess you can say?
Because they need to set the table for WrestleMania now.
It's September. WrestleMania doesn't start till Survivor Series.
But September, October, November, December, Royal Rumble.
Mm-hmm.
You got to start building up certain talents to be Rumble worthy.
Well, rumor also has it that John Cena might be taking. Well, we know he's going to be starring in the. That was
easy.
Loud. He's going to be starring in the Bumblebee spinoff movie from the Transformers franchise, and apparently he is going to be filming said movie right after No Mercy through the beginning of next year. So maybe they didn't have a chance but to do it except at this event.
Oh, but this is a way to give Roman Reigns his steam back.
He beat Cena?
Yeah. He's been just...
Save that for Be the Booker. That's intriguing. He needs it, doesn't he? Well, does Roman?
Well, yeah, I guess he's been getting his butt handed to him by Braun Strowman.
So, what stage is being set for WrestleMania based off of what you know now? If the reason they're doing this is to set the stage for WrestleMania,
I think
there's rumors out there of a Lesnar Reigns. Lesnar Reigns.
And I can see that because then you have Reigns and Lesnar, who have both defeated Undertaker and John Cena.
Ooh, yes, not at a WrestleMania, but they've defeated the Undertaker at WrestleMania.
Yes.
Yeah, that's interesting. An interesting pairing.
See, I'm always thinking.
The question is, what are you always thinking about, though?
Oh, that's for a different show.
Folks, speaking of championships, by the way, speaking of different shows, at the end of this episode, David Hero, we've got some news to share.
Hot news?
Hot news about the future of this very show, the Pro Wrestling Report Prime Time.
Oh, I have an ironclad contract. Hey, where's Linda?
She's on assignment this week.
Oh. She's traveling?
No, she's working off the credit card bill.
Oh.
Gotta generate revenue somehow or another to pay for that.
That's a lot of singles, bro.
Speaking of championships, the Intercontinental Championship held by The Miz, who, by the way, we weren't here with you last week, but how about A, him having to wrestle in front of nobody at the Barclays Center at the SummerSlam pre-show, and B, his promo last Monday night.
Well, first of all, you know why it's in front of nobody? Because nobody cares about him.
You are Sadly mistaken. The tickets had a time printed on them that were later than the actual start of the pre-show, so people got to the building and went through additional security measures late. That's why nobody was there. However, they did not have to put that match on when they did. They could have waited until maybe 117 people were in the building.
There's nobody there but the social media guy, from what I understand.
There were 12 other people scattered throughout.
How great is that?
That's a big, I think, a big miss by WWE. They don't do that kind of stuff.
No,
they don't do
here's the
arena
thing.
matches except that one time.
But here's the beauty of it. They were professional enough to go out there and do it.
Well, I mean, that's what true star, right? You're wrestling in front of 10 or 10,000.
It's hard to work a match in front of like 6 people.
How do you read the crowd when there is no crowd?
Exactly.
Anyways, the endorsement.
And you can't walk and talk.
Great and greater.
But what a great promo he had.
He absolutely did. 2 great weeks of 2 great promos from
Reigns,
3 great
Cena,
superstars.
and Miz. Miz is awesome.
But a little surprising, though, the results of the Battle Royal that was deemed necessary to find a #1 contender for the Intercontinental Championship this past Monday saw Jeff Hardy win the matchup, and he is now #1 contender for the Miz's.
Former world champion, former TNA world champion, former Intercontinental champion.
Boys,
yeah.
who were brought back as the Hardy Boys, who have performed as the Hardy Boys.
Okay.
So I was a little surprised that they're splitting Jeff off at this point.
Jeff.
I'm not disputing it. I'm not I'm not saying they should not have done it. I'm saying it was surprising that they did it. And where does that leave Matt Hardy?
He'll be broken. Can you imagine when that finally happens?
It's gonna be great if it doesn't go too much longer, because I don't hear many more of those broken and delete chants.
Oh, I hear a lot of delete chants.
Do you?
Yeah.
Well, no. Those are the ones that are when you're on what's that website? Chat what?
I don't know.
And they're saying delete to you. That's like swiping left or right.
I swipe up and down.
That match, don't know when it's going to happen. Assume it's going to happen at No Mercy.
No, it's Monday night.
Well. It is? Is it this upcoming?
Yeah.
Interesting, even more so. Folks, championships were switching all over the place this past Monday night, as we started this segment with Alexa Bliss. She regains the title from Sasha Banks, but after the matchup, Nia Jax attacks.
Nia Jax.
I want to call her Nia.
She will whoop you.
She whooped both Alexa Bliss and Sasha Banks after the matchup. It seems like we know where we're going here, David Hero.
Well, I told you that it'd be the booker. I said it was going to be Nia Jax and Alexa Bliss. There's no way. You know, Nia Jax is the future Raw Women's Champion. She's dominant.
Okay, that's like saying at one point the Earth will end. When?
The next pay-per-view.
At No Mercy, Nia Jax becomes the next women's champion, defeating Alexa Bliss.
Yes. There's no way a girl 95 pounds can beat Nia Jax.
There it is. It took you 13 minutes that time to get to the weight. And you haven't even buried Enzo yet.
Oh, that's for DWHS.
Folks, we're going to take a timeout. When we come back, we're going to talk about SmackDown. And keep in mind, we have a major announcement for you at the end of the broadcast.
Hello, this is Jeff Hardy, the Charismatic Enigma, and you're watching the Pro Wrestling Report on My 24 Milwaukee.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Pro Wrestling Report, Prime Time, episode number 817, here on Channel 14 Milwaukee, Fight TV, and of course on our YouTube channel.
FITE Fight
David
TV.
Hero.
Yes.
Do you have? You are right, not to be confused with the Canadian Fight, which is GHT.
Yeah.
SmackDown
Who
this
would
past
confuse
Tuesday
us
night.
with Canadians?
Well, why wouldn't they? You speak French, don't you?
We don't say eh. Do we?
Folks, SmackDown this past Tuesday night, in addition to featuring the return of Shelton Benjamin to action on SmackDown, he and Chad Gable getting a win over the Ascension.
So I'm watching SmackDown with Cal.
Yeah?
Okay? And he goes, Shelton Benjamin's back? I'm like, yeah. He goes, wait a minute. So they just gave him another black guy to team with?
I hadn't noticed that Jason Jordan or Shelton Benjamin were black.
Of course you did.
They were great talents.
But it's just funny that Cal would notice that, and that's the first thing he thinks. That's your intern. That's your senior intern.
Folks, in a tag team main event matchup, Randy Orton showed his normal colors, his true colors.
Whoa, you know what? Don't rip Randy. He did business.
Delivered the RKO to your favorite superstar, David Hero, Shinsuke Nakamura. The two were teaming together.
Yeah. And he's fighting Shinsuke Nakamura next week, so why not give him an RKO? Soften him up a little bit.
What about that match appeals to you next week on SmackDown?
Not much. I mean, Randy Orton, as awesome as he is,
he's a legend. He is a legend.
Oh, he's definitely a first ballot Hall of Famer. There's no doubt. But I mean, he's uneventful right now.
Really?
Yeah.
All he needs to do is come in and RKO somebody out of nowhere, and I'm fine.
But do you want to see Orton and Jinder Mahal again?
Let me see here. I only actually watched one of their 3 matches, so probably not.
Okay. Do you want to see Shinsuke and Jinder again? No.
I don't want to.
Do you know what I want to see?
What's that?
Bobby Roode and Jinder Mahal.
What are you talking about?
I think that
The glorious one who debuted on SmackDown last week.
Yes.
Coming up from NXT, is doing his NXT farewell tour.
Yeah.
Actually right now.
Yeah. But Bobby Roode is a babyface against Jinder Mahal. I think that's money.
So is it reasonable that Bobby Roode could beat Jinder Mahal for the championship?
Absolutely.
But Orton couldn't.
Well, Orton established Jinder Mahal. That's what his job was.
No, I understand.
Was to make Jinder Mahal legit.
Wrestling fan logic is.
Or Rusev and Jinder can have a program.
Whew. Where's the heat, as you asked, between he and Nakamura?
You got 2 bad guys. You know, when I saw Rusev and Jinder team up, I thought of Sheik and Volkov.
Interesting team, yes.
You know?
Yes. That was a heat machine, those 2.
Oh, they were amazing.
Yeah.
Iron Sheik, baby. You know? Nikolai, you couldn't. Yeah, they were one of the greats.
Folks, AJ Styles continued his Open United States Championship challenge. Ty Dillinger was the opponent this week.
How great was that?
However,
how Baron Corbin just pitched him.
However, Kevin Owens still not pleased. Got into a bit of a shouting match with Shane McMahon, which led to a matchup between Aiden English and Sami Zayn, the endorsed Sami Zayn, where Kevin Owens ultimately would insert himself as the special guest referee and handing Aiden English the win. Are we back to a Zayn-Owens program here, or what?
No.
What's the evolution of this Shane McMahon, Kevin Owens situation? Because it's got to end somewhere, right?
Oh, they'll have a match eventually.
Put that at No Mercy, too?
No, it's a Raw pay-per-view.
Oh, good job. So you are paying attention. Well, what is the next SmackDown pay-per-view? Clash of Champions? Is that SmackDown?
It would be October in Minneapolis. Hell in a Cell, maybe?
They've got to have a September one.
No.
Maybe there is a gap.
Every other month. There's not 2 a month.
There are sometimes 2 a month. Yes, there are.
You're lying.
No, I'm giving you the facts. That's real news. Folks, we want to give you an update as well on... Well, wait, before we do that, what was your overall impression of SmackDown this past Tuesday night, David Hero? Rather uneventful in my opinion.
You know what? I like what they're doing with Jinder Mahal. I didn't like how the Bopsy twins were going to kiss his feet.
The Singh brothers?
Yes. It's like,
well,
why...
they're begging for forgiveness.
But why not have that conversation in the back? Or call them during the week? Why do it in the middle of the ring?
Maybe they had...
That was forced. I didn't like that.
It's a long flight from India.
It is. It can be. It's terrible. I like what they're doing with Lana and Tamina.
Yes.
I think that's... I mean, the Fashion Police is very kabuki-ish to me.
Season 2 premiere.
Yeah. Who would have thought?
It's entertaining.
Really?
I find it entertaining.
You like watching the dude wear a dress?
I like reading what's on the the cork board in the back.
You think that's like the transgender wrestler they have now? Where he comes out in the dress and everything?
Just because you wear a dress doesn't make you transgender.
Well, maybe that's what they're going to go for next.
Do you have a hat to match that shirt?
I do. A collar and elbow hat? I do. It's at home. Why?
I just didn't know if you had a hat to match that shirt. I'm glad that you do.
I do, but I didn't want to wear a hat on TV. That's not professional.
It is a nice T-shirt that you wear.
Folks,
give you an update here provided to us by both Charlotte and WWE about Ric Flair. As you know, Ric Flair had a pretty extreme health scare a couple of weeks back and has been hospitalized ever since.
And you know the only person that told the truth was Mean Gene?
Mm-hmm.
He's the only guy that dropped the news without a hotline through his Twitter.
That is true. There had been many rumors about Ric Flair's condition, and some had said, which is not disputed, that he was in dire condition for quite a while.
He was put in a medically induced coma.
Good news is Ric Flair has gotten better, and he is going to be entering physical therapy for whatever it was that ailed him. It was not colon surgery, at least according to Charlotte. But we will, of course, find out the details of whatever
We'll never know.
That
there's HIPAA laws.
I'm sure he'll tell us about it. Well, coming from Flair, I'm sure he'll tell us about it. But the best news and the greatest news is Ric Flair is on his way to a recovery, and we encourage and look forward to seeing Ric Flair back again in our television world.
I agree. Woo.
With that, folks, did you want to say anything about Xavier Woods, the New Day? David Hero, he's suffering an injury. Big Cass injured as well.
Yeah, poor Big Cass. He's out for like 8 months.
Was Cal watching that when Big Cass got injured?
No.
So he didn't hear every expletive ever said on television since George Carlin performed here at Summerfest?
Oh, is that what Big Cass did?
Yeah.
Oh, well, he's from Long Island or Staten Island. He's a Jersey guy. They all have potty mouths.
Folks, that is this week's Raw and SmackDown reports. It is now time to go to the spoken word of one David Hero.
Let's talk about DWHS. Let's talk about the Cruiserweight division and their newest superstar. The guy that I've been saying for the last couple of weeks, Enzo Amore on 205 Live is going to jumpstart that division because you have so many vanilla-flavored characters on that show. You finally get somebody that's annoying.
Neville's vanilla?
Well, he might be like caramel cashew, okay?
You got him mixed up with some other 205 Live superstars.
No, I don't. And Enzo's going to be great. He's going to be the face of that division.
Did you ever think those words would come out of your mouth? Enzo's going to be great.
In 205 Live. The C show.
The D.
Well.
After NXT.
Oh, yeah. So it is the D show. But, I mean, and just he's Enzo being Enzo. And if you watched his match in his 6-man tag, they're out there doing the dance, getting all of his stuff over. Him and Neville's going to be great. Because you have the non-traditional cruiserweight against the king of the cruiserweights.
How is he a non-traditional cruiserweight?
Because he doesn't do flips and dives and everything.
You know what? That's right. I think, well, you only wanted to see him in 205 Live because of his size, not his abilities.
Well, right, but he belongs there. It's exciting for him. Come on, who's he going to wrestle on Raw and
Here
beat?
We go. I don't know. Who might he wrestle on Raw?
He's like a Muppet.
Which one?
Well, there's quite a few.
Muppets, yes. Well, which one is
Doc from the band, But, I mean, he's not going to go in a program with a Finn Balor or a Roman Reigns or a Braun Strowman or any of those bigger guys. He's not. So you put him in a position where he can be featured, where he will get a great reaction, and he brings value to the brand because of the merchandise that he sells. He'll be Cruiserweight champ, there's no doubt. How great was that? How exciting weren't you excited when you saw that? Why not?
I think
because I called it?
I've given my opinion on it, Enzo and Cass, on this show many a time. I don't need to rehash it.
Okay.
Does nothing for me.
It's always good to be right and happy.
Fast forward button when he's talking.
Yeah. You know what's amazing? It's like on the last pay-per-view when he came out and he went in the Shark Tank gimmick, and he talked forever. I'm thinking, whose match is getting cut short for this? Mm-hmm. They took ring time away because he talked for like 8 minutes.
And is that the end of your segment?
Oh, yeah. And with that, David Hero has spoken.
And that is that, DWHS, ladies and gentlemen. And, wow. It's been that's quick, David Hero.
Yeah, well, I'm the 28-minute man.
Well, you went 2 minutes long, but that's fine. We'll give you that.
No one's ever complained about that.
I just did.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's weird.
Folks, want to share a bit of news with you. As you know, our airings have been a bit sporadic here over the summer here on the Pro Wrestling
Not my fault.
PrimeTime. Yes, well, I will take the blame for that on these very broad shoulders that sit here each week next to you to take all the blame. Yes, there have been schedule conflicts, and no, we have not done a show weekly, but that all changes starting now, David Hero, because next week, actually, we bring you a brand new version of the Pro Wrestling Report Prime Time. Are you ready for this, David Hero?
Oh, I wish.
Did you get the memo, first of all?
No? Was it on a post-it?
No, it was attached to this week's TPS report. It was the 3rd page.
TPS?
Mm-hmm. Report.
What's a TPS report?
Is your printer out of paper?
Yes.
All you had to do was hit the PC load letter button.
That's all I got to do?
Yes. Put paper in, PC load letter.
Oh.
That's what that means.
I had no idea. I thought it was politically correct.
Folks, Primetime is going live starting next week. We are supersizing Primetime as well. Yes, you heard me right. We are going live each and every week starting next week. It is an extended version of Primetime with more coverage of Ring of Honor, more coverage of NXT.
Ring of Honor?
More coverage
NXT?
of Impact Wrestling.
Who's doing all? I can't watch all those shows in a week.
All of that in one show, one super show, one mega show from the Pro Wrestling Report. It's Primetime Live. And that is going to be transitioning. We will be transitioning from this forum, sort of, kind of, to live on Blog Talk Radio, David Hero.
Oh.
You know, we've had a Blog Talk Radio channel for a number of years. Nearly 3 million of you have tuned in to our Monday and Wednesday radio shows hosted by Meathead and Matthew Thomas, and we are going to capitalize on that, the existence of that platform, and begin to bring you a live radio edition, podcast edition of the Pro Wrestling Report Primetime each and every Wednesday night at 8 o'clock. Starting next week. So we're actually going to be earlier in the week. Right after NXT, the Pro Wrestling Report Primetime will be live.
Live?
But just so you know, as we will be on Blog Talk Radio Live, and we will have that available in podcast form, the television shows right here on Channel 14 and also on Fight TV and YouTube will continue. Primetime on a weekly basis will continue in television form each and every week. So we're giving you more, ladies and gentlemen. And speaking of more, obviously you, David.
Yeah,
that
of
Linda
course.
girl. And myself are going to be performing the roles of host as we have for nearly 20 years here on this broadcast.
You're that old, huh?
But also joining us on the Primetime Mega Show, Primetime Live starting next week, will be Meathead and Matthew Thomas. So in an effort to alleviate some of the pressure on you.
Why is Meathead going to be here? I mean, who did he ever beat?
Well, do you want to watch the other wrestling programs?
Well, I think Meathead's a great addition to the show.
Meathead Matthew Thomas will be joining us as well as part of the show. And also, folks, it gets bigger from there. Now, Linda Kay, she's going to be hosting our live chat room, live chat, as well as taking your live phone calls during Primetime
Hey,
Live.
guys, be nice to her in the chat room.
Segment, will be able to call in and join us and be a part of the show. Linda Kay will be hosting that, but David, it gets even better. It gets even bigger because it is a mega show. And with that mega show and all of us and all that we're going to be bringing you live on Wednesday nights at 8 o'clock p.m. Central, we've got 3 new segments to announce. Are you ready? Actually, 1 enhanced and 2 new segments.
Okay.
Be the Booker. The dry erase board. Obviously, we can't do that on radio, right?
No.
Can't do that in audio form. So what better way to present Be the Booker than to bring one of the greatest wrestling minds in the world to be a part of that segment, which will take place on the week before and the week
already in the
after
segment.
Pay-per-view events. A man who has trained many of your favorite stars, a man who's been one of your favorite stars as well. Al Snow joins us weekly on Primetime
Uncle
Live.
Al?
Uncle Al joins us weekly
And
on
me?
Primetime Live. And you.
The world's finest are doing a
Be the
segment?
Booker, absolutely.
Oh, that's freaking a home run.
It should be fantastic. But it doesn't stop there, folks, because we are more than wrestling. We like to talk about more than wrestling. And each and every week, another special superstar will join us to do so as well. We are going to be hooking up, David Hero. Let me start that over. We are going to be welcoming a new star to the show to hook up with, as we'll be hooking up with ODB, the old dirty bitch.
The ODB?
The ODB will be joining us to talk current events and things going on in the world. And let me tell you this, folks, you definitely don't want to miss that because her perspective on the world is one of the greatest in the world.
So it's like people can like message and call in and ask ODB life questions?
Absolutely.
That's fantastic.
ODB joining us on Primetime Live, the Mega Show. And finally, folks, another unique perspective on the world, and not just the world of professional wrestling, but a third superstar will be joining us on a weekly basis. And he will be sharing with us the exploits and the experiences of being the father of 2 young children.
Twins.
Dad Talk with Robbie E.
Oh, my. Wait a minute. He's going to give people...
Robbie E is going to give people advice on how to be a father.
Is that like a train wreck segment?
That's almost all we need right there, folks. It is Primetime Live. It's a mega show. It starts next week on Wednesdays. blogtalkradio.com/PWR. You can go right now, folks, and click on the links on that page to get reminded of the shows. Subscribe on YouTube. On iTunes. Subscribe on RSS. Subscribe on whatever your podcast application is. Primetime Live kicks off next week, Wednesday night, 8 o'clock p.m. It's a mega show, David.
That is a mega show. That's fantastic. I love it.
And with that, we will bid you farewell here from the Channel 14 studios for this week's Primetime. For that one, this is Damian Nelson. We'll see you next week.